Now on CoastTV News.
24 years since 9/11.
It's my responsibility and my generation's responsibility to keep the memory of 9/11.
Ocean City gathers to honor the lives lost.
Political violence in America.
I was pretty much in shock. I couldn't believe, you know what I mean, what I saw.
Delmarva reacts to the murder of conservative commentator Charlie Kirk.
Planning for growth. New plans to direct the future of Sussex County.
This is a package of recommendations.
How it could shape the community.
This is CoastTV News at 6.
On this day 24 years ago, the nation was forever changed, and today people are praying together and looking back. Good evening. I'm Christina DeRobertis.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis. Welcome to our News at 6. We begin tonight with two important stories.
First, we focus on the remembrance of 9/11. It has been 24 years since a terrorist attack on the United States shook the nation. Today, crowds coming together, paying tribute to the lives lost in the 9/11 attacks. CoastTV reporter Kevin Zappe is live in Ocean City. Kevin, you're at the Firefighters Memorial on the boardwalk.
Christina, right behind me is where today's 9/11 remembrance took place. And one volunteer who helped organize the event told us it's for honoring the lives that were lost, educating the public, and making sure the community never forgets. Bells rung today in Ocean City in remembrance of September 11, 2001.
Some people give some people gave all.
It's been 24 years since the terrorist attacks, and William Mann says he takes time every year to pay respects.
My brother-in-law, he wound up dying from the aftermath. He was an EMT.
Today's ceremony began with 6 separate salutes, each marking a moment when lives were lost that day.
The two planes striking the two towers falling, the plane striking the Pentagon, the plane in Flight 93 in Shanksville, Pennsylvania.
After salutes, hundreds of motorcycles rode along the Ocean City boardwalk in honor. There were songs to sing along to, and speakers sharing stories.
Good always triumphs over evil.
Deputy Chief Firefighter James Gestures says it's his duty to keep the memory alive.
An individual that's graduating college today, they weren't even born when 9/11 happened. So I take it as my responsibility and my generation's responsibility to keep the memory of 9/11.
Maryland State Senator Mary Beth Carrozza was among the speakers.
They stop, they pause, they remember, they honor, and that will only continue to build over the years.
The remembrance beams of light will shine one more time from the Ocean City boardwalk tonight. Now these lights behind me will be shining at around 7:30 tonight and will stay on until the morning. I'm Kevin Zappe, live in Ocean City, CoastTV News.
Thank you, Kevin. And in Millsboro, the American Legion Auxiliary Unit 28 is holding its annual public candlelight ceremony. It did just begin at 6 p.m. It's at the American Legion Post 28 Pavilion.
Meanwhile, in Lewis, the Whitford family held their annual Patriot Day of Service at 5 p.m. earlier. The event honoring the Whitford's son, Mark. He was a 9/11 first responder who tragically died in the South Tower.
And another top story today, conservative activist Charlie Kirk was shot and killed yesterday at an event he was hosting at Utah Valley University. CoastTV reporter Emma Aiken is live in Rehoboth Beach. Emma, one day later, you're out in the local community talking to people who say they're in shock.
Christina, a lot of people we spoke with here in Rehoboth Beach tell us they still cannot believe the news about the killing of Charlie Kirk. People did disagree, though, about what they believe the root of the problem is when it comes to violence like this.
It's the people. Are we going to ban cars because they hit somebody? We're going to ban alcohol? Are we going to ban a knife or a pencil? No, you can't. Anything can kill. It's the person behind it.
No, it's the gun as well. If the laws were stricter, I feel like it wouldn't be so many school shootings or people walking in public places shooting at people. But the way today's society is, it's like they don't want to hear any of that.
I also spoke with Governor Matt Meyer today, who said political violence has no place in any society and said we need to be able to disagree without shooting each other. Meyer said that's what being an American is about. Reporting in Rehoboth Beach, Emma Aiken, Coast TV News.
Emma, thank you. And we also spoke with a political science assistant professor from Widener University today on the impact of the shooting. Professor Jeremy Backstrom says the shooting highlights a growing threat of political violence dividing the nation and the need for leaders to work together to address it.
It's something that is, permeating our society, and it's affecting from, school-age children all the way up to adults. It cannot be just, it's just it's gun control, or it's just mental health. It's a complex array of issues, and our policymakers really need to go and take this to heart.
This brings us into our Coast TV poll. We want to know what worries you most about political violence.
Let's take a look at the updated results right now. Our top answer still just the concern of more political violence here in the country.
And if you haven't voted yet, you can still do that at CoastTV.com or use our Coast TV mobile app. We'll have updates at 11. We're taking a live look into Ocean City. Beautiful vision out there as you take a look. Our chief meteorologist, Paul Williams, standing by.
And I'm standing by that forecast from yesterday saying that this weekend is going to be gorgeous. I'm standing by that. I'm standing on business with that one. We're in the 70s basically throughout the entire Double Peninsula. We warmed to 77 degrees, which is actually a bit below the norm. The norm is about 81, so we're still a little bit on the cool side. And we're going to have limited cloud cover on our neck of the woods. There is a coastal flood advisory in effect, but that'll kick off force by Friday and more than likely be expiring pretty quickly. Now, coming up, we're going to talk about just how sunny that weekend's going to be and the temperature dipping again a little lower for next week. Charlie.
Thank you, Paul. The rapid growth in building in Sussex County is nothing new. In an effort to deal with it, though, all that growth, the Sussex County Land Use Working Group was formed. They had their first meeting in March, and today they held their final meeting. Coast TV News reporter Brandon Ferguson is live in Georgetown. Brandon, the 10 members voted on recommendations today, but it wasn't exactly a yes or no situation.
Charlie, the group came up with 20 final recommendations, and like you said, that vote today was not traditional. You can see here the options that these 10 members had to pick from. They could have picked strongly support, I can live with, oppose, or strongly oppose. And you can see here actually the voting split for this first recommendation, a 6-3-1 split for these first three options. And the next step for these 20 recommendations is Sussex County Council.
Growing and building Sussex County responsibly. That's the goal of the Sussex County Land Use Reform Group. After months of meetings, the group is ready to make their recommendations for smarter growth.
Intense, short period of time to do a really, really big job, and I'm very happy with the results.
The 20 recommendations include working with DelDOT to make sure there's enough road infrastructure before new developments are built, charging developers a transportation impact fee in certain conservation areas, forest preservation, and they also want to see a master plan zoning ordinance completed and adopted for large-scale development. All 10 members voted on the recommendation package. 9 out of 10 say they support the entire package. Working group member Christophe Toulouse says County Council should accept the entire package of recommendations as one document.
We can't cherry pick now. This is not a menu. This is a package of recommendations.
Local Joe Pica says he likes the progress that's been made.
I'm satisfied that they've gone about as far as they can, and that what we now see is that it has to be turned over to County Council and opened up to the wider public for a discussion.
According to Sussex County Administrator Todd Lawson, all of the information and work the group has done will be put into a final report that ultimately will be handed over to Sussex County Council.
And according to Lawson, Sussex County Council is anxious to get to work on these recommendations, but before that can happen, a complete report has to be made on these recommendations and all of the work the Sussex County Land Use Reform Working Group has done since March. And for a full list of all 20 of these recommendations, you can head to CoastTV.com. Live in Georgetown, Brandon Ferguson, Coast TV News.
We are just getting started tonight.
Festival Hispano is around the corner. How and when the Delmarva community will come together to celebrate Hispanic culture.
The weekend is warming up rather rapidly. More on that coming up.
But first, we'll show you how one house in Ocean City is having a big impact on their little guests. This week's Coastal Connections is right after the break when we're back in just 60 seconds.
The only thing worse than getting a critical illness diagnosis is if your child gets a critical illness diagnosis. The whirlwind that follows is hard on the whole family, and while doctors do their best to treat the body, other groups like Believe in Tomorrow, they work on helping in every way they can. And as you see in this week's Coastal Connections, they just built a new facility down in Ocean City that opened up in August. Smiling faces. That's not usually the first thing you think of when you hear the phrase childhood cancer. But in the toughest moment of a kid's life, the hardest moments for families, the Believe in Tomorrow Children's Foundation is there to provide a little relief, as CEO Marianne Davis explains.
The goal is to reduce the stress that these families are under and going through, and treatment, and allowing them to reconnect and renew their energy.
Believe in Tomorrow offers what is called respite housing. The new House by the Sea 2 condo in Ocean City actually has 5 different units, 2 big enough for large families, the others a bit smaller, and as founder Brian Morrison tells it, the price is right.
Families in all of our programs don't pay anything at all.
When a family is on location in Ocean City, they'll meet others facing the same struggles, which begins at the Monday night barbecue.
Families start to open up and develop friendships. Sometimes they're lifelong friendships, and that starts on Monday.
The town of Ocean City also plays a role. These kids, these families, they have access to the best of what the coast has to offer.
Fishing, they can go to Jolly Rogers. They get offered surf lessons every Friday morning down at Malibu's. They can go out to local restaurants. They get gift cards. They can go play miniature golf. They can truly do as much or as little as they want. If they simply want to sit on the beach all week and relax and enjoy the ocean, they can do that.
Believe in Tomorrow isn't a medical center. They aren't finding cures or issuing treatments, but they do play a role in mental health at one of the most difficult times that any child or family goes through.
And that's what this is about, giving them a break that enables them to go back into treatment and to continue their journey through their medical process. And if we can kind of make that a little more palatable, a little easier, that's what our mission is.
That mission, which has only expanded through the opening of House by the Sea 2, is a labor of love that requires no gratitude from the kids it benefits, and yet you can feel the appreciation on their faces.
I think our greatest thanks is when you see them laughing and smiling and just, being a kid and doing whatever kids do.
And while Believe in Tomorrow can't provide results, they do provide a respite, a break, a short rest from the challenges of treatment, of cancer, and the incredible weight of life during a daunting and dangerous time.
Well, throughout Ocean City, we're starting to see just a little more in the way of some peak of some skylight and sky. And we're seeing the cloud cover begin to kind of break up a bit for us. So that means that we're already seeing the pattern of the clearing already beginning to kick in. And we're expecting to be totally clear as early as 9 o'clock in Ocean City with 67. Then we'll dip to 66 degrees by 10 o'clock. We're in the 70s right now. 76 degrees in Bridgeville. We're at 75 in Milford, 74 in Georgetown as well as Laurel, 73 degrees in Willits, and 73 also right now, Ocean City. And we're at a high today of 77 degrees. So about 4 degrees below the norm for this time of the year, because we typically should be at about, let's say, 81. Now, 93, which was set in the record for today, was set in 2013. We had a low of 62 degrees, only 1 degree below the norm for this time of the year, so we weren't unusually cool. We're just kind of right in that fall feel, right in that sweet spot. Even though we had a lot of cloud cover yesterday, we had a little more in the way of sunshine today. And that kind of helped everybody get into more, fall or spring type of a mood. But we do have the lingering coastal flood advisory that will stay in effect for tonight going into Friday. That's more of a just in caser because for the most part, we're not seeing much in the way of surging other than dealing with, the actual tides going high and low, but we're not looking forward to any additional precipitation. 81 for the high, and Seaford and Laurel, but 79 in Lewis. Not much of a difference between those two. 81 and 79, that's the party that we're having between Cambridge as well as Vienna, and we anticipate a high of 79 degrees in Berlin and Snow Hill, as well as Chincoteague, and 77 for the high, Pocomoke City, and in Ocean City. So Friday morning, we start off mainly clear everywhere with the exception of Del Mar and Salisbury, but temperatures will be in the mid to low 50s in most locations inland. Then we will warm to near 80 degrees for Friday with lots of sunshine. Saturday by 9 o'clock, by the way, that's when we're going to start having our program for the walk, by the way. We'll have temperatures into the 70s for the beaches and into the lower 70s throughout the inland areas as well. Pretty uniform, homogeneous for that matter. And speaking of the walk, by the way, we're looking for a high of about 78 degrees on Saturday. But remember, things kick off at 8 o'clock for registration, 9 o'clock program, 10 o'clock the walk, and after the walk, we will have wonderful food for you for the cookout. Not only hot dogs and all that stuff, but also some healthy stuff as well. A combination of both so everybody can enjoy themselves. Finally, here's a look at the extended forecast. We're looking for temperatures to stay right at the norm for this time of the year, or slightly below it. Now, for that Saturday event, one quick note, if you hadn't heard it before, we are going to be having absolutely free prostate antigens, or specific antigen test, or PSA blood test that's going to be free of charge. Once again, just the blood test, not the other chest, just the blood test.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Up in Philly, the Fightins have punished the Mets this week. Headed into tonight's series finale, the Phillies have already taken the first 3 games. You could say Philadelphia looks like a completely different team since being swept in New York. 10-3, that's the record for Philly since the Mets swept them at Citi Field. And right now you're watching highlights of what looks like a completely different ball club at the Bank. They have won these first 3 games of this series by over 16 runs. The 16-plus run differential. They have been smacking the ball all over the yard. You see Otto Kemp right in the game a couple nights ago. He hit it deep. He's the bottom man in the order. And this has really helped shore things up in the division for Philly, who now has a commanding 10-game lead against New York in the NL East. And like we said, that run differential has been money on the week for the Phils. If you want to see if the Phillies can go for the sweep tonight against the Mets, 7:15, that is first pitch from the Bank. Thanks so much for joining us in sports. That's all I got. Have a good night.
The Hispano Festival returns to North Race Street in Georgetown on Sunday, September 21st from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. to celebrate the Hispanic culture. Organizers say there will be vendors, local organizations, and taco restaurants, as well as local and international artists. Sounds fun.
Fun every year. I love going. All right, so in Laurel, we have temperatures staying in the 60s. Our umbrella giveaway winner is Raymond Lackey of Millsboro. Congratulations, courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration, Home Remodeling. Be sure you call our weather line. Your forecast is just a call away, sponsored by the law offices of Bruxted, McVinellis, and Federico. And remember, the Walk for Prostate Cancer kicks off on Saturday, Cape Henlopen Open State Park. You can register at 8 o'clock. If you have to do it at the last minute, that's okay. We got you covered. 9 o'clock is going to be a special program with testimony from witnesses and doctors going to be talking about new innovations in treatment, by the way. And then we'll do the walk at 10 and we'll have a cookout afterwards. Finally, here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast.
Thank you again, Paul, and thanks for joining us for Coast TV News at 6.
For more news, more local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
The NBC Nightly News is up next.
And we're going to see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 11. Have a great evening.